Well, thank you very much for all of your help. You've done a great job. I don't know where we'd be without you.
Thank you.
We definitely wouldn't have these beautiful tiles. How are you feeling leaving the boat today?
16,000 miles, 18 countries, half a circumnavigation, and you'd think that the hard part would be over by now, wouldn't you? Welcome back to another update from Elixir's voyage around the world. We're deep in the trenches of a long overdue refit here in the beautiful North Island of New Zealand. And I'm not going to lie to you, this has been an absolute soul-crushing slog, and the past few months have pushed us beyond our limits in ways that the open ocean never could. This is the gritty, unglamorous side of the sailing lifestyle, a world of hard work, impossible problems, and exhausting days in the boatyard. But even in the toughest moments, you find strength, and for me, that's come from my amazing friends who have rallied around and helped pull me through the darkness. And now, after months of feeling stuck, it finally feels like there's light at the end of the tunnel. The launch date is set, that means the clock is officially ticking, and we have no choice but to get this done. The final push is on.
Okay.
Ah ouais! C'est bon ça?
Yeah, it's going good. Go have a look. It
Okay.
looks great. You like
Looks
it?
good.
Yeah, thank you. I'm happy.
After pulling the engine out, I realised that a lot of these frames, the floor bearers, were all rotted out. So we have some New Zealand hardwood, puri it's called. Yeah, we're just rebuilding or replacing the ones that rotted out. Because the engine that I've got at the moment isn't the original engine, it's kind of a little bit too big, so everything's squeezed in there. So I'm trying to move this back a little bit so I've got more space for the engine and the exhaust muffler. It's a little bit difficult because this pipe here, which is the drain for the cockpit, is completely in the way, so I've got to try and cut a little bit out to make it fit. Hopefully we can get it to slide in there. I only had a circular saw and a hand saw, so I was kind of limited. But anyway, we're gonna rebuild this area. It's gonna look something like that.
If you've been following along, you'll know that this engine bay has been one of the main parts of this refit, and it now looks a lot different from the start of the project. Finally, it felt like we were close to scratching this big task off the list, and it felt so good to see it all coming together again.
Alright, so we are taking a day off from the Boatyard today, and I'm giving Max and Rachel new tattoos. I've been working in that tattoo shop for like a month now. It's been really nice, and I'm going in 2 days to Australia, so it was the last opportunity to give them a little goodbye gift. So yeah, Max is getting some kelp on his leg, and Rachel is getting like a nice ornamental stomach on the boob piece. Voilà!
Did you say wow or ow?
Oh, just look at her tattooing skills. Pretty good, isn't it? Wow.
Are you happy?
I'm so happy.
Cool. Yay! Well done, Max.
Merci.
Layla's about to give me a tattoo. Here. So we're hiding in the back room because my are about to come out. Can't wait. We want to make it internet friendly. Yay!
What's wrong with her belly button?
It's like it's a bit on the left.
On the piss.
What? Everybody is different, and like depending on like your morphology, some tattoos are like gonna work better in certain placement. But we did that design to like match her anatomy and not point out that her belly button is a little bit to the side. I mean, it's nothing bad. It's just, you know. You see what I mean? great.
You're doing great.
I don't know if I can survive doing this without holding your hand, so.
I feel brain dead.
That hurt pretty f***ing bad, I'm not gonna lie. But I love it.
Looks great. Who's your friend?
Okay, this is Paul.
We've met Paul before.
Yeah, we've met Paul before. Paul and Max met in Panama, I believe. In Curacao.
No, in
or-
Grenada.
Oh, really? Did you?
Yeah,
All right.
Grenada, Curacao, and Panama.
Paul sailed around the world on his boat, and he met Max along the way. And I met Paul last summer because he was sailing from Tunisia to Portugal with a friend of ours, and he suggested me as crew, so I came and yeah, we sailed together for a while. Paul is, we believe, but never fact-checked, the youngest German to sail around the world on his own boat.
Well, thank you very much for all of your help. You've done a great job. I don't know where we'd be without you.
Thank you.
We definitely wouldn't have these beautiful tiles. Look at that. It's amazing.
Wow.
You've done a great job.
Thank you.
How are you feeling leaving the boat today?
Yeah, I feel good. I've been here 2 months now. And yeah, yeah, I definitely feel ready to go. It's been like we had fun. I did learn a lot. I'm happy. But I'm just ready to, for something new. So I'm going to Australia with a friend for a few days and then back home to my tattoo shop and my dog and my friends. I painted everything into 2 aft cabins, like sanded, painted. I done some repairs because some of the wood was rotten. Yeah. So I had to replace it. I done the tiling in here and in the bathroom, painting and varnishing of everything, the floorboards, all the trims in here.
Merci.
Avec plaisir. Thank you for teaching me everything. Yeah, it was fun. Hopefully one day I will need to do all those jobs on my own boat. So yeah, it's gonna be handy.
Well, merci very much.
Yeah, thank you. I'm gonna miss you.
I'm gonna miss you too.
Aww.
Yesterday, when I was inspecting all of the rig and the spreaders, I found that one of these spreaders has become pretty significantly rotten, and I'm gonna have to rebuild the whole thing, as you can see. The end of this spreader has completely rotted out, on both sides. So we're gonna cut one out of this bit of wood. I have very limited tools. I have my circular saw and an angle grinder. So we'll see what we can do with those 2. And then we'll just have to repaint all the spreaders, make sure there's no way that any water's getting in.
And this is one of Elixir's great mysteries. Why on earth would a former racing yacht with a full aluminium mast have spreaders made of wood? It's something I've never understood. I would love to replace them with another material to get rid of the worry of rot and the extra weight aloft. But on a boat, you live under the tyranny of the urgent, and there has always been a more pressing job standing in the way. So the wooden spreaders live to sail another day.
We're gonna try and notch out where this piece of aluminium slides in to hold the spreader. Yeah, if you had the right tools, you would use a router to cut this out. I don't have a router, so I'm just gonna try and cut it with a skill saw and then just chisel it out, and hopefully that'll work. Yeah, I'm a bit limited with the woodworking tools that I have, so we'll see how it goes. Obviously no one's ever going to see this, it's right at the top of the mast, so as long as it's the right shape and strong enough and not going to break, I think that's all that really matters. I'm going through all of these stainless fittings that go on the end of the spreaders, just cleaning them up, giving them a bit of a polish and inspecting them. Obviously these things are quite important. A lot of load goes through here. Yeah, we want to get all of this sort of rusty messiness off, give them a check, a little bit of a polish before we put them back on again, just so we can be sure that everything's strong. We're going to give the spreaders a final coat of paint so we can put them on tomorrow. Trying to get the mast in, the engine in. It's a bit of a push because I'm going away for a few weeks and I want to get the boat back in the water beforehand. So yeah, it's pretty busy, but we're making progress. We are currently fitting these blocks for the spinnaker. We just have to drill through these brand new spinnaker cranes.
Tired day. We've got a lot to do. Engine's going in tomorrow and we've got to get the boat back in order in the next 2 weeks, so the push is here.
Today we're going to slide in the cutlass bearing, which has been delivered from Europe. Apparently there are none of this size that exist in the southern hemisphere, and it's a really tight fit to go inside this bracket, so to give ourselves the best chance, we're going to try and get this as hot as we can and the bearing as cold as we can. We're just going to slide it in and then use this contraption to squeeze it all together. That's the plan. It's as full as it goes.
I think that's gonna be good.
There's an old Boatyard myth that if you freeze a cutlass bearing and heat up the bracket, it'll just slide right in. I've always wanted to try it, but it wasn't quite as easy as we hoped. Even with a lot of grease, it's always a bit of a struggle to get it pressed back in again.
The last step is to put in the grub screws. These just stop it from spinning around inside the bracket or going anywhere. It's not going to go anywhere, it's so tight, but this is just an extra precaution. And there we have the cutlass bearing.
Alright.
Look at that, no play. It's going to sound so much better than it did before.
With the cutlass bearing finally home, the last two tasks were to get the propeller and the coupling attached. And just like that, the stage was set. After months of being an empty shell, Elixir was finally ready for her heart to be lifted back in again. It's definitely starting to get a bit colder here in the New Zealand winter, and today is hopefully the final day that we're going to be messing around with the engine. I've got a few last little bits of painting to do, and I'm going to fit the gearbox, fit the starter motor alternator, all that stuff, and then hopefully this week we'll get it transported back down to Elixir and lifted into the boat, which is pretty exciting. That's a huge step forward. So another problem that we had with this alignment issue is the legs for the engine, which sit on here, had basically pulled out and stripped all of the threads in the side of the engine block here. So we had to drill them out at a slightly bigger size and then tap in new threads so that we could bolt the legs on properly. And I'm gonna stick the legs back on again with some Loctite and make sure they're solid. It's finally time to move this engine out of the workshop and back into Elixir. As you can see, we're ready to go. Because Elixir was designed for racing, she has a relatively small engine, and this 3-cylinder Volvo Penta is only 26 horsepower. The upside is that it's simple and it conveniently fits in the back of the car. The downside is, well, honestly, I don't think there's much of a downside when it is this easy to move around.
Lost the
I'll pull it back, pull the cardboard on them.
What's happening today?
The engine is going back in, out of the car and into Elixir. It's an exciting day. We're gonna learn a lot today. That's exciting.
Mike, the owner of the Boatyard and an experienced engineer, has been a massive help on this project. But still, it doesn't matter how many times you do this, watching your engine, your ticket around the world, dangle 5 meters in the air from a single strap is always pretty nerve-wracking. But then it was in, and that single moment felt like the first real win we'd had in a very long time. Instantly, the chaos of the refit faded away, and all of a sudden, Elixir was starting to feel like a boat again.
Yay.
You have to pay for the crane per hour, so we just drop the engine in using the crane, and we're going to use this chain winch to do the proper alignment, because that takes a long time and a lot of fiddling around.
Of course, boat work is rarely a straight line, and it took several attempts lifting the engine on and off its mount, making tiny adjustments and one last bit of grinding to get that perfect glove-like fit before we could even begin the alignment process.
For the alignment, you test the gap in between the engine and the coupling. These two things, they have to be within a couple thousandths of an inch, which is like literally a slice of paper. So we use these really, really thin feeler gauges. The back of the engine just needs to come up a tiny little bit. The clearance, which is only like 0.1 of a millimeter, so it's tiny, is pretty much the same at the top either side and at the bottom of this coupling. Yeah, basically the technique that we use to make sure the engine and the shaft and the gearbox and everything is all in alignment.
We're about to do the first layer of primer. We're going to do a coat of epoxy primer onto Elixir's bare hull because you can see that there's a lot of exposed fiberglass here, and yeah, basically you have to seal it in with a coat or 2 coats of epoxy primer. It's the day after our first coat of primer on the bottom of Elixir's hull, and it's looking really good. It's a huge improvement. It has highlighted a lot of the blistering on the hull. There are a lot of small little holes that are a result of osmosis, where basically water gets into the fiberglass and forms a little bubble, a little blister, and then quite often that cracks, resulting in these little like holes that you can see on the hull. So we're just going through, filling it all in, and then we'll sand it all flat before putting on another coat of primer, hopefully tomorrow. But yeah, this is a lot of work because the whole hull is covered by these little small blisters that I'm having to fill in. So it's just literally taken all day to go around the boat and just squeezing this epoxy filler to all these little gaps. Hopefully tomorrow we'll do all the painting, second coat of primer, and then 2 coats of anti-foul, and then yeah, it's just gonna be good to go back in the water.
We are sanding, priming, and anti-fouling, which I did not sign up for, but here I am. It's a beautiful, sunny winter New Zealand day. A wonderful day to be working.
Okay, so what are we about to do?
Second coat of primer.
Okay, so before we put the anti-foul on, we're gonna stick the housing for the transducer in. Conveniently, the new one that Reinstalling sent us is exactly the same diameter as the old one that we took out, which is fortunate. So we're just gonna glue that in now with a bit of Sikaflex. It's time for the first coat of anti-foul. It's probably the most satisfying job because the boat looks really good, really quickly.
It's already looking so good.
Today we're doing the second coat of anti-foul, and I brought 10 litres of anti-foul to put on the bottom of Elixir, and so far we've probably used about 3 or 4. We've already done 1 coat. It's looking really good this morning. It's looking fresh. It's going to be a few coats, I think, to try and get it all on because it's quite a lot of paint, but hopefully it will last for at least a year.
For sure, a year.
2 years? If it lasts for like 2 years, then I'm stoked. Thank you for sticking with us through another update from the Boatyard. It's been a tough chapter, but sharing it with you all makes a huge difference. A question I get asked a lot is how I fund this journey, and a huge part of it comes from my work as a professional sailor. I'm a captain for vessels up to 200 tons and a qualified marine engineer with experience fixing just about anything that could go wrong on the water. If you have a project or delivery you'd like to discuss, you can find my email in this video description. And finally, if you want to support Elixir's journey directly, the best way is to like this video and subscribe to the channel. You can even comment and let me know what you thought of this video. It truly helps us grow. For those of you who want to get even more involved, consider joining our crew on Patreon. You'll get exclusive access to my newsletter, The Elixir Express, and be the first to hear about any opportunities to come sailing on Elixir. Thanks again for being part of this, and we will see you in the next one.